Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Gabi over here from Slap Punch Visuals, back at it again. And today I am going to be showing you a how to play tutorial video of my original TCG Strata Crusher. So Strata Crusher is this card game that I've been coming up with, and basically the game is played um, like reading a manga. It is cards and everything directly from my original manga called Me the Mumby. I will put a link down below if you want to read it. You can. It's on Manga Plus Creator, 9 chapters, fully colored. So we start off the game with the main character, which is your protagonist. So let me go ahead and delete this. So you choose your protagonist. It gets put out onto the center of the panel area. This is where your characters will go, and the protagonist will always stay there. It cannot die. When they attack your protagonist and you take the hit, you will be dealt damage until you go up to 6 damages. Then you go into plot twist and you play the enraged state of the protagonist, which is this one. The protagonist down here on the left. That's how you will know which is the protagonist card. You will play the enraged state on top of your protagonist once you enter plot twist, meaning once you get dealt all 6 damages. So this would be the protagonist as main character, protagonist at the bottom. You always start with the main character first, right? So for the sake of the video, I am going to be leaving all cards face up except for the enraged volume, which is the enraged protagonist. We're going to turn that face down. But after that, all the cards are going to be faced up. I'm going to be playing against myself. This is the Pollen deck with the Pollen protagonist. And as you can see, I've already gotten his hand up here. So this would be his hand. And his field is already set up. So the first thing you want to do is get the protagonist out there, the main character, out to the middle of the battlefield or the panel area, and then get your enraged volume, which is up to 5 cards. And Mumby doesn't necessarily have to go into Mumby. He could go into any enraged leader that you want to. So then after that, we will go into the life chapter volume, which would be this, and it's 6 cards that will represent your life. Every time you take damage, you will take a card, put it into your damage area, face up, and then you would proceed to do whatever that page tells you to do. But that's how you keep track of how much damage you're at. So the life chapter volume is always set face down on the field. And then I'm going to be playing with the Mumby volume, so that's the last thing you take out, right? It's a 50-page volume. You cannot go above 50. You cannot go under 50. So starting off, you would shuffle the volume. That will be shuffled. And we're going to be taking out all the dice and all the tokens because that's important. Dice and tokens are important. This is how we're going to keep track of how much power your card actually gains or not, because when you take damage in this game, your main character or your protagonist, even the except for the enraged one, depending on who it is, if they have an ability like that. But once again, once you're in plot twist and you take another damage, you die. So your protagonist gains plus 500 every time you get dealt a damage or you deal yourself a damage, because that's a thing in this game, and we are going to be showing that a little bit later. All right, so that's enough of that. So the first person to go first gets decided by playing a game, let it be rock paper scissors, rolling the die, or whatever it is that you and your opponent decide. So the Pollen is going to be highs, Mumby is going to be lows. I'm going to roll the dice, see which one goes first. The Pollen was going to be highs, Mumby lows, right? Okay, so Pollen is going to go first. The first player always draws 2 cards at the start. On every turn, you always draw 2 cards. So let me start drawing the Mumby hand. 3, 4, 5. That's 5 for Mumby. Let me see what I want to put back. At the same time, once per turn during the game, you draw 5 pages from the top of your volume, and then you get to choose as many pages as you want to put at the bottom of the volume and redraw that same amount. Then you shuffle your volume. You can only do this once when the game first starts. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. So my hand right now is a little iffy. I'll put back the grandfather. And I would draw 1, which would be this. So we'll go back onto this, and I will shuffle. All right. So Pollen will go first. Pollen will draw 2 for turn. Starting off. And there's certain character cards. So the characters, which would be this one, which you can tell is a character at the bottom left hand. It says page type. This character would be the page that you can call out to your panel area, but some of them have a restriction on it, and you can tell on the top left here. So the restriction would be 1. This red indicator means that's how much damages you have to be dealt or have currently to currently play this character out there on the field. You can only have up to a total level of 5, which she's a level 2. That's what you see right here. So that way you don't, swarm the field with a lot of big people. So you can have like one big level 5 and a couple of level 0s. You can have one level 3 and one level 2, one level 3 and 3 level 1s, one level 2 and 3 level 1s. One level 3 and 2 level 1s, and one level 2 and 3 level 1s, et cetera, et cetera. As long as the amount on the field adds up to be 5 and doesn't go above that, it's fair game. So right now I cannot play the Mumby because I'm not at 1 damage. I can't play the Pollen because I'm not at 2 damages. Right now I can't really play anybody, but it's okay. It's the first turn, and what I would do, I will play this guy. Since he's a level 0, he's a redirect, right? So I will play that and keep everything else in my hand, so I don't want for my opponent to know what it is that I have, and I'll pass for turn. So since it will be the Mumby's turn, I will draw two pages for start of the game, or for the start of the turn. My bad, wrong thing. And the only option I see right here that I could play would be the Alma. So I'll play the Alma since she's a level 1/0 restriction. She can be played out there. So the first thing I would do, I will swing with the Mumby, tap 4,000, and I would swing at my opponent's main character. Now, the main character can be attacked even if it's an active or in rest. This would be rest or tapped, right? If another character is inactive, you cannot attack that character page unless if you have a page itself that tells you otherwise. Right now, we do not. So since the Pollen is first turn, he's going first. He has 0 damage. He's going to take the hit. Take the top card of your life, put it into your damage area, and flip over the card. So once you do, you activate that page's event. So this is the life chapter. On the event, it says draw on damage. You draw 1 page. So what Pollen would do was he would draw 1 page from the top of his volume into his hand. But the protagonist also has their own abilities. And on event, on damage, you gain plus 500 power until the end of turn. So you would put a token or any type of power indicator on top of your character. So now Pollen is at 1,500, making it where my Alma cannot attack and deal damage. Yes, she can attack, but she won't be able to deal damages. This is why it's very important you have a flow on how many characters you have and who can attack and which character can attack first, depending on on how high their power actually is. So at this point, you will end your turn because there's nothing that you can actually do since you can't attack the character that's inactive. So Mumby will end his turn. Pollen will draw 2 for turn. And since I'm at 1 damage, this Mumby can actually be played. But at the same time, the life chapters have an extra ability to it. It says called skill. Restriction, once per turn. If you have multiple life chapters, deal yourself a damage. This page counts as the cost of 2 the next time you activate a skill or event. So you will deal yourself a damage, giving yourself 1, flipping this over, and drawing 1 page. So the 500 that you took the last turn on the attack of Mumby will actually disappear from this character. And since you dealt yourself a damage, you gained the plus 500 power on the damage and the draw 1 that we already did. So this damage right here counts as the cost of 2 instead of 1. So since we're currently at 2 damages, now I can go ahead and play Pollen early since he has the cost restriction of 2 to play him. And you can actually go ahead and play the Mumby early as well. So right here, he's a level 2. The Pollen is a level 3. That'll give you a total level 5. And this guy can still be out there because he is 0. So that still will amount to 5 in total. And I would place this reaction page. The reaction pages can only be activated in the reaction area. So this is the reaction area. You can only have up to 3 reaction pages out there. for the sake of the video, the page is going to be face up, but you really set it face down so your opponent can't see. You can activate the reaction pages on your main phase, on your battle phase, on your end phase, and during your opponent's battle phase, end phase, etc., right? And there is no turn restriction onto how long that reaction page has to be out there. As long as you set it and you can activate it immediately, you can go ahead and activate it, and there is no problem with anything. Now I'm gonna set this right here. It's called extend. What extend does is rest 2 damages, choose a protagonist or character with pollen in his name, and it gets +1 damage to the end of turn. So that's actually very, very strong. The pollen deck is a powerhouse deck. So right here, because Mumby didn't really get a good hand, didn't really get any type of redirects, there's going to be major damage being dealt to Mumby. So what I am going to do, I'm going to tap this one that counts for 2. And I'm going to activate extend, and I am actually going to use it on the pollen, right? Rest 2 damages, choose a protagonist or character with pollen in his name, gain 1 damage to the end of turn. So this pollen right here will be swinging for 2 damages instead of 1, the one that has 3,000. So starting off, I would attack with the 1,500 pollen, and I don't know why this is moving. Hold up 1 second. So starting off, I will go ahead and attack with the 1,500 pollen onto the leader of Mumby. So, no. So pollen, since you're at 1 damage, there's different type of stages of damage effects that you can activate. So this restriction will actually pop off once you're at 1 to 3 damages, which is on attack, you draw 1 page. And then the next step would be from 4 to 6. Once you get over the 3 damages, you can no longer activate this ability, and this disability that's going to be activated afterwards, right? So on attack, 15, you draw, so you would draw immediately. Nothing can stop that. Even if you negate the attack or whatever, you still get to draw immediately. So that'll be 15 over to Mumby. There's nothing that I can do, and I am going to take the damage. So Mumby takes the damage. I get hit. I draw 1. And then Mumby gains 500, so he's at 15. Now he is going to attack with the Mumby Early. Mumby Early has an on attack ability. It says on attack, rest 1 damage. On hit, if you actually hit, search your volume or discard pile for Mumby and Pollen tag and add it to your hand, right? So right now, I'm actually not going to activate that because I want to keep my damage face up just in case the Mumby does something crazy. So he would attack his Mumby into mine for 2,000. I'm at 1,500. I can't do anything but take the hit right now, right? So I will flip that over, draw 1 page, and gain another 500. So now my Mumby's at 2,000. Now he would go and actually attack with the pollen at my Mumby for 3,000, 2 damages. If I had something to block, I would have, but like I said, currently I don't. So I will actually take 2 more damages, which is kind of crazy. The pollen deck is actually very, very aggressive. So I will draw 2 pages off of that, and Mumby will gain another plus 1,500 for each damage. So Mumby will be at 3,000. At this point, he has no more attacks. He could attack with him, but he's at 0. So what he's going to do, he's going to end his turn. Okay. So at the end of the turn, Mumby loses all the attack power bonus that he got from getting dealt damage, and the pollen will lose the 500 that he got as well. Mumby will restand, and you will draw 2 for turn. So right now I have 12 pages in my hand, which is crazy, but let's see what we can do, right? 4 damages. I have the Alma out, and go ahead and call out, I could call out Wispy if I want to. I could call out the big Mumby, which he will attack for 3,000. I have to get this pollen up out of there because that pollen is on something crazy. That pollen has to die one way or another. So what we're going to do, yeah, let's do it. I'm going to play the pollen out there. Boom. Then I'm going to activate this page. It's called I'll Kill You. So there's a strategy page. Strategy pages can be played on the strategy area. They cannot be set. They cannot be put down onto the field. They're going to be placed here, and once they get played, they immediately go into the discard pile. So this one says restriction, main character. Your main character has to be Mumby or Pollen. The restrictions on the pages are very specific. If you can't meet that criteria on the restriction, you cannot activate the page. You cannot complete anything. So it says here, Mumby early and Pollen early will gain plus 1,000 power into the end of turn. Well, right now, currently, I only have Mumby. So what you would do is that you would see the effect through as much as possible when it comes to that. Now, if it's a restriction, then you have to see the entire thing through. Like, you understand? So the Pollen gains the plus 1,000. He'll be at 4K. Let's see what else I have in my hand. I am going to tap 2 damages. And I'm going to play Zombies. So Zombies says, rest 2 damages, choose a set reaction page and destroy it. So my opponent has a set reaction page back here. So I would choose this and I would destroy it, which is actually a really good card. It's called Plot Armor, one of the best reaction pages there is. It says on event on attack, you rest the damage, negate the attack, and end your opponent's attack phase. So there is no main phase 2 in this game. So once they end your attack phase, it's pretty much your turn is over. If the attacking character wasn't a protagonist, you destroy that character. It's so strong that you can only run 2 copies of this in your volume, which can actually set you up for a really good play where he could have been able to actually negate my attack while attacking with Pollen and actually destroy him, and that would have changed the whole situation, right? So I'm at 2. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this Mumby head out onto the fields, and since he's a redirector, he's a size 0. He's a level 0, so he can be played out there. I only have a total of level 4 right now with the Alma and the Pollen, right? So I will now set this page, this reaction page down there, and I'll be setting this other reaction page down there as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep it as that. So the Pollen, I'm going to activate the attack, and I'm going to swing with my Pollen onto his Pollen for 3,000. Now, this Pollen has a specific ability, and what it is that if you destroy a character with this page, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So even though I am going to destroy this Pollen early, I still get to deal 1 damage to my opponent, which ideally, that's what you want. So at this point, he wants to keep the Pollen. He has a redirector that can redirect the attack over to him, but my Pollen is going to destroy his redirector regardless, and he'll still take the damage. But since he is going to redirect it off of Pollen, it still gives Pollen a fighting chance to stay out there for the next turn for him to do whatever he wants to do. So he is going to rest Gas Mask, and Pollen is going to actually redirect his attack from him over to Gas Mask. So my 4,000 over to his 0, and he will actually destroy that character. So when I destroy that character, I will deal 1 damage to my opponent. This will get faced up. He will gain the 500, and then he will draw the page from on top of his volume. And then the ability of this card of the redirect is going to kick off, which says after battle, draw 1 page. So he's a redirector that lets you get a page as well. So the Pollen would end up drawing 1 page to his hand. I currently have 2 set out. He still has his Pollen out there. He still has his Mumby out there. I have a Alma there, but she can't do anything. So what I'm about to do, I am going to attack with the Mumby over to his protagonist. I can't hit or anything, but since I'm at what I'm at 4 damages. I'm at 4 damages. Who do I have? Oh no, I don't even have any Almas or anything. Well, I can't do the effect, but I will still attack. Ultimately, you can bluff out your opponent. There's pages in this volume where you can beef up your attack and gain power, and it's a way to how to trick your opponent into taking a hit or blocking a hit or not, because potentially you could change the outcome of the game and even possibly kill something or deal him 1 damage. So I will end my turn. Everybody's power bonus goes down. He would restand. And now he will draw for turn, which is drawing 2. I don't even have space over here for this. It's crazy. So Pollen is at 3 damages. The Mumby's at 4. He has a couple of things out there. So he wants to activate this page. Because this page right here can actually change the game for him. But for him to do so, he has to rest 3 damages. As you can tell, the damages do not restand when your turn starts. All the characters do, but your damages don't. You're going to have to actually use the ability of a page to restand your damage, of a page, of a character, of whatever. If you can't do that, then there's no way to restand these damages. So right now, he can deal himself a damage, which he will. Letting him draw 1 page to his hand. And having him use this page as a tap 2 instead of a tap 1. So he will now go tap 3, technically speaking, to activate this strategy page called Zombie Method. Rest 3 damages, choose a page from any area on the board and destroy it. Any area on the board would be like the panel area, environmental area, volume area, stuff like that. So, oh yeah, this goes into the discard pile. So what he would do is that he would target this Mumby right over here. And the reason for that is because this Mumby says redirect, change your opponent attack to this character. And then it says restriction. When destroyed by battle, search your volume for a copy of this character and play it inactive. So technically, this Mumby can actually block 4 different attacks. He can redirect 4 different attacks if you let him. So you would want to take this out, even though if you attack with the Pollen and he takes the hit, and yes, I get dealt a damage, but I'm going to still go ahead and play another Mumby from the volume out to the field, which that's what you do not want to happen. Because then it's going to limit how much damage you're actually going to do to your opponent on that turn. So sometimes you have to take the risk to try to do your play. And that's the thing about this game is that taking risk could be rewarding and taking risk could be very punishing. So you have to watch out what you're doing. He is going to set plot armor. He is going to set origins. And he's going to set one of these. Bam. That's basically all that he can play since he don't have any level 0s. His whole entire field is filled up with the 3 and the 2, so that's 5, right? Okay, and the Pollen got the 500 this turn. So Pollen is going to swing with his protagonist over to my protagonist, Mumby, for 1,500. So what I would do here, I would either take the hit or I would try to negate something. So let's see what we have. So on his attack, I get a chance to react or respond. Then depending if I react or respond, he can also react and respond as well. And I can react over to his, creating kind of like a chain effect. So it says restriction main character Mumby. When your hero character gets destroyed, rest 2 damages, play the destroyed character inactive, which that's not what we're going for. We're going for rest 1 damage, negate the attack type situation, right? Since he is going to attack me regardless or not, I will take the hit. I'm going to end up taking the hit, giving the Mumby plus 500 protagonist, and drawing 1 page. So his attack went through. Now he's going to go and attack with the Mumby over to my Mumby leader for the 2,000 since I'm at 2,000 as well. There's nothing that I can really do right now except for taking the hit. So I will take the hit, flip that over. Mumby will get another 500 and I will draw 1 more page. At this point, all he has to do is just deal 1 more damage and he would win. So he would swing with his Pollen over to my Mumby. And I am going to react to that by doing run. And what run does is that I rest 1 damage, negate the attack. So I'm going to go ahead, rest this, activate run, negate the attack, and it will go into a discard pile. At this point, he can't do anything else. He has no more pages to do anything, no more characters. So he would end his turn. I will stand. remove the plus 500s from all of the characters, my field and his, and I will draw for turn, which is drawing 2. All right, so at this point, when you're at 6 damages, is when you can enter the plot twist. Plot twist is getting your character from your enraged volume and playing it on top of your protagonist. And for the sake of this, I'm just going to remove this from play and just play the protagonist. So now this Mumby, which is your protagonist, the one that you have to deal damage to deal, attack and hit to deal damage. He will get a power bonus. He'll be at 3,000 instead of the 1,000. And you can only play him on plot twist. And it says on attack, put in active 1 hero character. That page gains the attack power of this page into the end of battle. And I know it sounds kind of like crazy, but at this point, you're trying to survive. You're trying to end the game as well. So in plot twist, every protagonist in the enraged deck pretty much gets extremely strong. So I will play the Mumby. And then, okay, so another thing is when you have characters in the panel area and you want to play a character, and let's say you cannot play him because the size is going to go up to level 6, you can actually remove a character from your panel area, put in the discard to play a card, or remove various characters to actually play a character. You cannot just put them in the discard. You have to be able to play something to put them in the discard. And the reference to that would be kind of like how Card Fight Vanguard does it, right? So at this point, I play out the Mumby early. Since I have both of these, I can go into something called Tag. So there's a system called Tag. You can tell what Tag is in the top left-hand corner. And the level, the icon would switch over to 3 arrows. This meaning that it's a tag character. So you cannot play this page or this character unless you meet the restriction. And it says play by removing Mumby early and Pollen early from your panel area. And his event, it says on attack, you rest 1 damage. To the end of turn, you gain the power equal to the target that you're attacking, right? So basically, this character can potentially kill anybody in the game as long as you have enough to activate his effect, which is tap 1 damage. And all tag pages counts as level 0s, just to let you know. So it's a very strong card. So you'll take the Pollen and you'll take the Mumby early. Those 2 cards specifically, because that's what the card says. And you'll be able to play Pollen and Mumby tag. So he would act as a level 0 out on the field. So now, currently, you can still go ahead and play out other characters. So me, I am going to play out this Pollen over here. I'm going to play out another Pollen early. And I am going to play a 0-drop Mumby. And I'm going to be playing Rhythm. So that should give me a total level of 4 out on the field with the Pollen and the Rhythm. Mumby is 0 and he is 0. So this is what my field will look like, right? And we're not done yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to activate Replenish. And what Replenish does is that I can discard 2 cards from my hand, which is going to be the Wispy. And I'm going to discard Mumby, I'm a Mumby. And once I do, I can search for any area for a reaction page and add it to my hand. So right here, sorry. It says discard 2 pages from hand, switch 1 damage to active, search any area for a reaction page, and add it to your hand. Shuffle your volume afterwards. But this will go. I will change a damage over to active. Go into my volume, which that's what I'm choosing. And I'm going to be looking for plot armor. Looking for plot armor. I have to shuffle my volume afterwards because I went through my volume. Reveal the plot armor to my opponent. And add plot armor over to my hand. Now I'm going to set the plot armor out there. And I'm also going to activate Hot Dog Swirl, which Hot Dog Swirl says put 1 damage in active. Take my last damage, put it into active. And I am also going to activate, okay, so Hot Dog Swirl goes into the drop, into the discard pile. Let me minimize my hand. And let me activate I'll Kill You, which is Choose Mumby earlier, Pollen earlier, gains plus 1,000 power to the end of turn. So this Pollen right here will gain the plus 1,000, putting him at 4,000. Putting this into the drop. Currently, I have no, like not one page in my hand. I have no cards in hand, basically. But I still have things set out on the field. If my opponent has stuff to eliminate whatever I have set out on the field and eliminate everything else, next turn he could potentially win the game. So for right now, this is what we got going on, right? So what I would do, I will swing first with the Pollen early, that is. And actually no, I'll swing with the Mumby since he's at 3. Well, no, I have to swing with the Pollen. Yeah. I'll swing with the Pollen for the 4,000 over to Pollen early over here, and if I destroy him, if he has nothing to stop the attack, I'll destroy him. I'll still deal the damage. Well, my opponent has at least one thing, so he'll tap 1. He'll go ahead and activate Plot Armor, which Plot Armor states rest the damage, negate the attack, and at the end of your opponent's attack phase, if the attacking character wasn't a protagonist, destroy that character. So he's going to do it, negating my attack, destroying my Pollen, because he wasn't the protagonist, and he will end my battle phase. Since he ends my battle phase, there's nothing that I can do about it. Now I can react to that card with this one called I Won't Give Up, which is when your hero character gets destroyed, you rest 2 damages and play the destroyed character inactive. But for the sake of this, I'm not going to do it because I currently have some things going on over here, and depending if he has a removal or not, I don't want to do that because I also have a redirector here. So I will end my turn. He will restand. And on my end phase, oh no, he can only do that during his end phase. Yeah, on my end phase, I can actually restand 2 damages with that. So I'll draw for turn, just draw 2. And currently, I don't have anything that can let me restand anything, but I still have these. So as long as I have something to attack something, I'll be good. I don't have the Mumby and Pollen tag. If I would have called them out. I'll go ahead and set this out there. And I'll start my turn for attacking. So I'm currently at 4 damages. And I am going to swing with, well, the only person that can actually hit right now would be Pollen. So I'm going to swing with my Pollen over to the Mumby protagonist. I'm going to tap 1 damage now so that I can go ahead and activate a Plot Armor of my own. So activate the Plot Armor, negate the attack, letting me destroy the attacking Pollen as well, and ending his battle phase. So when your character gets destroyed, rest the damage and put it into your hand, which he cannot do that. So at the end of his battle phase, he will actually activate both of these, both origins, letting him actually restand all 4 of his damages. Tap that. Ending his turn, right? So starting my turn, have no pages in my hand. I draw 2 for turn. I'll play the melody. This is when things gets tricky, like tricky for real. I have to find a way of how to end this dude right now. Like actually destroy his stuff. So he's at 1,000. He's still at 1,000. I will attack for my rhythm, which is at 1,500 over to his Pollen. And my rhythm ability will kick off, which is on attack, if you control a melody, give it plus 500 power and put a damage inactive. So I will go ahead and give the plus 500 over to the melody, which I control 1. Put the damage inactive immediately because the ability goes off. Now my opponent gets to react or not. So on to that, he is not going to react to it. He is going to take the damage, putting him at 5, giving his character the plus 500, and giving him another page into his hand, which he is currently at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He's at 10 pages in hand. Then I will go ahead and I will attack with the melody over to his pollen. Since he's at 1500, he either has to take the hit or, activate something where he can stop it. Currently, he doesn't have too many options of stopping with a lot of things, So he's going to take the hit, putting him over to 6, drawing 1 page from the top of his hand. From the top of his volume into his hand, sorry. Which would be that. And giving him plus 500. So right now, the pollen is at 2,000. 6 damages. So now, Mumby and pollen early. Well, yeah, I would swing with Mumby and pollen early. No, sorry. Swing with my. I will swing with my protagonist over to his protagonist. I don't know why I keep saying Mumby and pollen early. For the 3,000 over to his 2,000. So at this point, he can activate Plot Twist. Plot Twist can be activated in any given time during an attack, during the draw phase, during the main phase, during the reaction phase, during whatever. You can activate Plot Twist if you're able to activate it at any given time. So right here, if I don't go ahead and activate something, he would win the game, right? So Mumby's ability will kick off, and he is going to restand the melody, ready for battle, and give it the plus 3,000 power that he has, because that's what he does. He restands a hero page and then gives it the same amount of attack that he does onto his. So 2,000, I need to create 2 more tokens. And that means that this melody will actually be attacking for 4,500 when he gets ready to attack, which is insane. So at this point, he is going to activate Plot Twist, which he will get the protagonist from the Enrage, and the 1,000 that he already took from the damage will still be stacked on top of this pollen. So this pollen will be at 4,000, making it to where my Mumby cannot hit his protagonist. So basically, he pretty much negated my attack just by doing that. So he'll survive that attack, and then my melody will attack his pollen for 4,500 since he's at 4,000. The only thing he could do now is trying to negate the attack or use something else. So for right here, he's going to tap 3. And he's actually going to play Zombie Method. Because Zombie Method, you rest 3 damages to choose a page from any area on the board and destroy it. But you can also activate this page during your opponent's battle phase from your hand. So during your opponent's battle phase, you can actually activate this page. Tap 3, I would choose the melody, and I would destroy it. So this is what kept him alive for right now. Why it won't let me do the stack? I need to minimize it. So the only character that I have that can actually rival his, this page will go into the drop zone, discard pile, sorry, would be Mumby and Pollen Tag. Tap him to attack his protagonist. Forgot that this goes in the same thing how the other one was. And he has an ability where I can tap 1, and if I do one attack, until the end of turn, I gain power equal to that target. So if he's at 4,000, that means I gain 4,000, and I would be at 6,000. So I would gain the 4 right over here, 1K, 2K. That'll be the 3K, 3,500. And the next token will be the 4,000. That'll be 6,000 because I tap 1 to actually activate it and attacking his pollen. So what he's going to do, because he needs to be able to save his life, he is going to tap another 3, and he is going to activate the second zombie method from his hand. So this is what actually just saved his life. And he is going to choose my character that's attacking. He's going to destroy it, potentially acting as a negate. If he wouldn't have done that, then he would have lost the match. So when he does that, I actually have the opportunity to activate I Won't Give Up. And it is when your hero character gets destroyed, rest 2 damages, play the destroyed character inactive. So that's one thing that I am going to do. I am going to tap what? Rest 2, rest 2, rest 2. So I'm going to go ahead, not flip, tap. Rest 2 damages. I won't give up. Take that. Search through my discard for the Mumby and Pollen tag. Play him inactive. And he will come right back onto the field, which will give me another chance to attack since it's still my battle phase. And I reacted to his whole zombie method. So I will go ahead, swing with the Mumby and Pollen early, activate this, tap another one, gain the same amount that he has. So the whole 4,000 he will gain back over here, and swing at him for another 6K. At this point, he doesn't have anything. He cannot activate anything from hand. He cannot activate any type of redirects from the field or anything. He's just going to have to take the hit and deal him the final blow after the 6, which Mumby takes the game. So Mumby actually won. I actually didn't know who was going to win, to be totally honest with you. At one point, I thought the Pollen had it because the Pollen comes in very aggressive. The Mumby is kind of a tempo type situation. And yeah, this is Strata Crusher. Anything could go down. I currently have 5 different volumes. I'm currently trying to establish this game into creating it into a digital game, which I will be launching a Kickstarter for. Later down the line, I am going to be introducing other properties in this game, meaning like other mangas in this game to be volumes in this game. So it will kind of be like a clash of different mangas within it. Me and my team is actually going to be developing that. But yeah, this is how it is. Per turn, you draw 2 pages and everything else. If you guys have any type of comments, questions, let me know. I'll answer them. I have a visual rule book of 31 pages. I'm going to be doing a video on that. And from now on, this is your boy Gabi over here from Slap Punch Visuals. And peace out and stay safe. You already know what time it is.